will get arrested. You're in breach of Section 14 of Public Order Act. Head to Whitehall or go ahead. I don't care. You haven't got a pass, please leave.
Don't need a pass, I'm a citizen, journalist.
Where's your... No. You need to leave else you're going to get arrested.
Okay then, so what you've just heard is this constable threatened to arrest somebody under the Public Orders Act. Now, there's two different Public Orders Acts. So you've got the Public Orders Act of 2023 and you've got the Public Orders Act of 1986, which we will cover them both in this video. And then she laughs at him for him saying he is a a citizen journalist, and says you don't have a pass, right? This whole journal pass or whatever the bloody hell you're chatting bollocks about. In this country, that just gives you a little bit of leeway to get into certain places and restricted areas. It does not give the police the authority to say who can and cannot stay in a certain area and film, and who is and isn't press. And I'll get into that in a minute. Well, a bit further into this video when I cover that. But this whole interaction gets escalated by this wannabe tough cop with a bad attitude towards just members of the public and people filming. And everything I'm saying is in my opinion, so if you don't like it, tough titty. That's just how it is. But this, to me, it's just there trying to flex her non-existent powers, because she knows she's got all of that backup behind her and nobody can do anything about it. So let's just get straight into this video.
Hi there, all good?
I'm a private investigator, I am, which is a bit different. You know what I mean? Yeah, nice one, but I like that one. I'm gonna let him know I'm an investigator, see? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
just a journalist.
The journalist?
Yeah.
Can you please leave the area? Else you will get arrested. You're in breach of Section 14 of Public Order Act. Head to Whitehall or go ahead. I don't care. You haven't got a pass, please leave.
Don't need a pass, I'm a citizen, journalist.
Where's your... No. You need to leave else you're going to get arrested. I'm giving you a verbal warning.
Alright, no worries.
Please go.
Yeah, I'm going now.
If you're still here, I'll give you reasonable time to leave. If
Yeah,
you're still here...
I'm not refusing, I'm going.
You're not going. You're
Yeah,
facing me and you're recording me.
Yeah, I'm going, mate. I'm going.
Keep moving, please.
Yeah, I'm going.
Basically, we have to come by and tell you again, you're getting arrested. That's it.
Okay then, so like I said, there was two public order offences, and we're going to look at the one I know it definitely isn't. So it's the Public Orders Act of 2023, Section 14, like she said. Offences relating to Section 11, right? So it's completely irrelevant, because Section 11 is powers to stop and search without suspicion, something like that. So this is pretty irrelevant. I'm not even going to bother going through it. But it is, again, on about obstructing a constable. So let's actually go to the one I believe it is, and one she's on about. So it's the Public Orders Act of 1986, Section 14, like they said. So I'm just going to highlight this all the way up to here.
1F1 subsection 1A applies if the senior police officer, having regard to the time or place at which and the circumstances in which any public assembly is being held or is intended to be held, reasonably believes that A. It may result in serious public disorder, serious damage to property or serious disruption to the life of the community. F2, AA, in the case of an assembly in England and Wales, the noise generated by persons taking part in the assembly may result in serious disruption to the activities of an organisation which are carried on in the vicinity of the assembly. AB, in the case of an assembly in England and Wales. I. The noise generated by persons taking part in the assembly may have a relevant impact on persons in the vicinity of the assembly, and 2. That impact may be significant, or B. The purpose of the persons organising it is the intimidation of others with a view to compelling them not to do an act they have a right to do, or to do an act they have a right not to do.
So this bit is one little section, and I honestly don't believe that this assembly is going to create serious public disorder or serious damage to property or serious disruption to life of the community. The thing I think is warranted here is the word serious. Now, it does say here, an organisation a person organising should not intimidate or tell somebody to do something they're not allowed to do, which is quite funny considering. Well, I'll get into that bit in a minute. Well, I'll get into it now. The Human Rights Act, we're looking at Article 10 of the Human Rights Act of 1998, which has everyone has the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to hold an opinion and to receive and import information and ideas without interference from public authorities. Blah, 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 blah. We'll go through this all of the time. So you could say the police are telling somebody to do something they're not supposed to do because they believe something is going to get a serious problem is going to occur, which we know it's not. But let's get back onto this. So this is pretty irrelevant. What is relevant from this section is 3, 4, and 5. All the way up to here.
A direction given F11 by virtue of subsection 2b, F12 or 2zb shall be given in writing. For F13 subject to subsection 5a, a person who organizes a public assembly and F14 fails to comply with a condition imposed under this section is guilty of an offence, but it is a defence for him to prove that the failure arose from circumstances beyond his control. 5. F15 subject to subsection 5a, a person who takes part in a public assembly and F16 fails to comply with a condition imposed under this section is guilty of an offence, but it is a defence for him to prove that the failure arose from circumstances beyond his control. F17, 5a, a person is guilty of an offence under subsection for or I5 only if a. In the case of a public assembly in England and Wales, at the time the person fails to comply with the condition the person knows or ought to know that the condition has been imposed. B. In the case of a public assembly in Scotland, the person knowingly fails to comply with the condition.
So they've put a condition in place, which I don't believe in here it says there is they can put a restriction in to make people leave. It probably is, because it's our laws and they're there to control us no matter what. But it is their defense to prove that they didn't know about a condition, which now they do know about this condition, which has apparently been put in place to stop serious damage to property or serious public disorder or serious disruption to the life of the community. Serious. They has to believe there is going to be some of this to put in any restrictions. And I like the way that they're, even in the legislation, it repeats serious. Maybe they should put it in bold, capital, colourful writing so the police understand it has to be a serious, that it may result in a serious issue with one of these. But that's not going to happen. This has dragged on a bit too long, so let's get back to the video.
So you're still here whilst we've looked away?
Yes, I'm a journalist, mate. I'm covering everything. I'm a journalist. So I'm not part of no protest, man. I'm not part of no protest. I'm not part of a protest. I'm not.
The protest has ended over 2 hours ago. You have to leave.
I'm not part of the protest.
Well, I believe you are at the moment.
I'm not. I'm a journalist.
The entire time, so
I'm a journalist, mate. I've been covering this all day. I'm a journalist, love. I am a journalist.
I appreciate you're here as a journalist.
Yes.
But where you're congregating is in breach of Section 14 of the Public Order Act, where there was a protest there, they're now here. Unfortunately, where you're in this area, it could be assumed that you're part of it and then you're not leaving. I have given you a warning.
I've just told you I'm not part of it. I'm not part of it.
How many people do you think tell me I'm not part of the protest? Please let me go.
I've came from Northern Ireland to film this. So
Okay, yeah, exactly, to film this. So then you're part of it, aren't you?
No, I'm a journalist.
Please leave.
I'm a journalist.
Please leave. Go around that way.
Go around that way.
Go round that way.
That's crazy, oh man, because we will, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's true, that. Yeah, man, well. So we're going to get this lion in anyway, this big lion here. Welcome to England, everyone. Welcome to England.
Yeah.
So that female constable's attitude is absolutely outrageous in my opinion. The way she's like, how many people do you think, well, how many coppers do you think go around and commit criminal offences? Well, actually, we can get the statistics on that for the police forces will actually release that information. And I honestly believe that we are at more risk by certain police officers than most of the general public. There's lots of cases, I'm not going to say Wayne Cousins, I can go on and on and on about information about police officers which have got violent offences, which are still in charge of weapons and so on, and you guys cover it up. And it is such a shame, because I'm not against police, I'm against bad policing. For all those people that think I hate police, I don't hate police. I believe we do need police, but we don't need these bad policing and bad policing tactics like this one. She knows, she just said, we can assume. Well, yeah, assume all you want. But you better have good bloody evidence to say so when he comes after you in court. Like I said, I've already said all my what I think in this video. This, to me, it's a bit of an outrageous bit of legislation, which means the police can interrupt and disrupt any person they believe might be a part of a protest just because they're in a certain location where a protest had happened. Now, if you look at the people there, do you honestly believe that there is going to be any of these serious disorders or anything going to happen? No. Do you think it's overly noisy? No, the only people that's been overly noisy is the police. The only ones creating a massive problem here is the police. It's that simple. All that being said, everything I've said in here is just my opinion. She didn't say exactly what part of the legislation. She said section 14. She probably doesn't even know that there's several public order legislations. But like I said, all that being said, everything is just my opinion. And if you don't like it, tough titty. But I want to thank my members for being a member. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below, pick a tier, become a member. Let us know what you thought of this interaction in the comments down below. As always, like the video, it does open YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.